Wake up in Provincetown!
Good morning, everybody. Wake up. Wake up, wake up. In Provincetown. This week featuring
Wake up, wake up.
Can I have some coffee?
Wake up, wake up.
Make it strong, please. Hey. Oh. Hey.
Wake up, wake up.
Oh. No, really, can I have some coffee?
Wake up, wake up.
I have a Christmas present.
Work. And we thought Christmas was over.
Christmas is not over, which means it's still 2024. Yay! What are you
Happy
gonna do?
New Year, everyone.
Yeah, Happy New Year, you guys. This is our last show before our 6-week hiatus that we traditionally take.
Mm-hmm.
This is the second year of that.
Yeah, we're going to take a break for about 5 weeks. We're going to do a lot of work on getting sponsors so we can survive another year.
Mhm.
If you are a business or know a business that would like to sponsor us, please reach out.
How was your New Year?
It was really fantastic. I worked at the Gifford House.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was really nice. Gifford House had a really fun vibe. The Wild was open. We watched the ball drop. Tori was singing in the piano lounge.
Mhm.
The nightclub was open. It just was like a fun vibe.
Did Tori do Tomorrow for Manny into Seasons of Love?
I think so. I heard her doing Tomorrow, but I was running around.
Okay.
So who knows?
Because that was part of the New Year's Follies on Saturday. And I guess this is something that Tori and Lance invented together, doing that transition.
Oh, word.
And people, you know, the musical theater gaze, they just go nuts for Annie and Rent at the same time.
Yeah.
Really, really fun.
How was your New Year's?
It was great. I was part of the New Year's Follies show. I sang a little song, and
That was on Saturday.
Saturday at Town Hall, great crowd, great show. It was actually a really, really wonderful production. Some of these people that Jonathan is friends with, like mind-blowingly good singers,
I'm sure.
like
yeah.
Alicia Umphris, John Riddle, Ann Taylor, like that. Just I'm like, your jaw's on the floor,
Yeah.
and then you're like, I have to sing after her.
What did you perform?
Well, the theme was, you know, like looking forward to the new year. So I sang Mr. Brightside by the Killers.
Oh, I love that. Work.
It's one of those songs that everybody thinks they know. I was like, oh, I know this, and plus it's just the same verse twice. And then you go to learn it, and it's like, and he's doing this, and she's taking off her socks, and at rehearsal, I was just saying whatever, and Lance was like, "Oh, you're doing a parody." I was like, "No, I just don't know it. I'm just making it up as I go, because everybody knows that melody, but it's like, what's he saying?"
Totally.
Yeah, he's saying a lot of crazy shit.
That sounds awesome, though.
People was, what is that song even about? I was like, I don't know.
Bright side.
It's all about
Yeah.
bright side. Look on the bright side. That is my mantra for 2025. I'm going to look on the bright side, no matter what. No matter how that makes me sound. Pollyanna-ish is how I've been described before.
That's great.
I
You
know.
have been described before as that?
I have been described as Pollyanna-ish by a friend who was annoyed at my toxic positivity.
Was it me? No, I'm just kidding. It was Mark.
No,
Oh.
I won't say who it was, but
Okay.
it was mostly a joke, I think. I hope.
We'll see.
Let's talk about these Christmas
Yeah,
presents.
let's open them.
Bob, thank you.
Yes.
These are from our friend Bob from Maine.
Card first?
Card first or care instructions first? Cards. Yeah. You guys, we love mail
Yes,
and
we
presents.
really do.
We don't get nearly enough of it. So if you feel like sending us something, don't send it here
Oh, right.
because the Provincetown Brewing Company is moving from here. Everybody knows that, right? Did we say that yet?
Not yet.
Oh, coming
Aw,
up.
that's so sweet.
Aww.
Yes, the Provincetown Brewing Company is closing for the winter at their 141 Bradford Street location, and they are going to be reopening in the Crown and Anchor space this upcoming spring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just in time for Memorial Day, I think.
Yes.
So
I'm very excited. I think that's going to be a really great move to be right
great
on
for
Commercial
everybody.
Street. Yeah. We aren't sure where Wake Up's going to be when we get back, but
Yeah.
it'll be somewhere.
It'll be in Provincetown.
It'll be on YouTube.
You will wake up in Provincetown with us, wherever that may be.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dropped again.
oh, oh. Oh.
Stop it.
Rip it, just rip
Woo!
it. Thank you. Aw.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
god.
It's a WNBA hoodie. Oh my god, what a sweetheart. I thought
in there too?
no.
No, there's nothing for Mark. Mark was a bad boy. Mark
Aw.
got coal this
It's a
year.
WNBA hoodie. Oh.
Who dat? Oh my god.
Over your face, it's great.
I'm gonna kill you, Mark. Oh my god, thank you.
so much, Bob.
If it wouldn't mess up my mic, I would put it on. Thank you.
I
Bob.
know.
Christmas isn't over yet.
No.
How was your
nothing's
Christmas?
over.
I haven't seen you since then.
Christmas was really fun. We
You
were here
were-
in town.
Okay.
We celebrated at the Red Inn with some family and friends.
Cute.
It was great. Yeah.
I went home to see my
You got
parents.
trapped in Connecticut.
I did. Well, I was supposed to. I went home to Connecticut on Christmas Eve. Spent the evening with my parents. Then spent Christmas Day with my extended family. I was supposed to drive back to P-Town on Thursday, but my car was out of
Air.
air. Basically, I got a flat tire, and my spare also was not functioning, so I had to wait. And basically, I didn't have time to come back to P-Town, which is why I wasn't on last week's show. And then I went straight to Boston. But Christmas was really fun. I have a my nephew is like just shy of 2 now, which is a very fun age to have around for Christmas. My nephew has recently become obsessed with mermaids.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ariel?
Yeah. Do you know who else was obsessed with mermaids? at a young age?
You.
Me.
Oh my God.
So for Christmas, I had to get him what I wanted because I never got it as a child. Because my parents got me like mermaid stuff, but it was always like, I remember specifically getting this one mermaid, and I hated it because it had molded hair. Meaning like I wanted hair I could brush and touch and braid, and so I went to the Disney store and got my nephew an Ariel doll
that you could brush.
you could brush. Well, actually, I took it out of the package early because I was
opened it?
well, I was hanging out with my friend Todd, and Todd was like, "You have like take it out of the package, and like he's gonna want to rip it open. So like open it, take all the little plasticky things out." So I did that, and then
that's smart.
I did notice that the hair had like a big kink in it. So as
You gave her a blowout.
I did. I got my steamer and my brush out.
steamed the doll.
Of course, like a good gay uncle.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I had to like steam the hair to make it.
When you opened it, was he like, wow, fierce, yeah,
No.
queen?
Oh, I should have put the picture up, but there's a picture. He's looking at the doll and he has the brush that it came with, and he's brushing his own hair. It's really cute.
That's adorable.
Yeah. But Christmas was great. It's so fun when you have a 2-year-old, you know?
I don't know.
Oh. But just like the Christmas
believe
magic is back alive.
Right.
Yeah.
All the cynicism melts away for a moment.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah, but it was so funny. My sister sent me a picture of their tree that morning with their 1 2-year-old son, and it was just like mountains upon mountains of presents. And I was shocked because my sister's very minimal, but I think she's finally getting that bug where she's just like, oh, I want to buy him everything. He got a lot of stuff.
I mean, you know, even the most minimalist parent recognizes that Christmas is all about the birth of
Excess.
commercialism, our Lord.
Yes, commercialism, capitalism,
Stuff.
and presents.
Yeah.
Aaron says you're the best game.
Aww.
But it was so much fun because my cousin also has like a just shy of 2-year-old baby, so it's just like babies and dogs running around. Yeah,
Sounds like a lot.
yeah. But then I drove up to Boston for Jouot's engagement party. Jouot got engaged about a month ago to his now fiance Andrew, and to celebrate, we all had a really beautiful dinner at Boston Chops,
Nice.
which was so amazing.
Is there a picture on the screen right now?
No.
It looked like the album cover to Fleetwood Mac's Rumors. Like you guys got a serious photographer to take pictures.
It
of
was
you.
Joe Inc.
Joe Inc.
Yeah. He was fantastic. I think either he is the best at blowing smoke up his clients' asses, being like, oh my God, y'all are amazing. And this is so much, I'm having so much fun. He's either really good at that or he was actually having fun.
I bet both.
Yeah. But the pictures were fantastic. We were all over Boston. We took pictures outside Government Center, the State House. And people kept being like, oh, is that someone famous? And I could be like, no. Just in a small 3-mile spit of land at the end of the world. That's where we're famous.
When is the wedding?
Probably years from now.
Years,
Yeah.
plural?
Yeah. Yikes. That's usually how weddings go.
Not before the inauguration?
Right?
Well, who knows what? Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Keep us posted.
Yeah. You know Joel. If that was his engagement party, imagine what his wedding's going to be
Oh
like.
boy.
Yeah. He needs time to plan.
Money.
And money.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. But it was beautiful. An amazing dinner at Boston Chops. We went to Trophy Room. It felt cute because that was like my go-to trajectory when I lived in Boston.
Chops and then trophy room.
Yeah. Before Club Kevin, but I didn't make it that long.
No,
I was in bed at 11:30.
I don't believe that.
I was.
Well, it's a new year, new you.
Sure.
New year, same you.
God, I hope not. Yeah, and then we didn't. Well, you must know this. I bartended at the Gifford House this past Monday, and it was one of those shifts. We were so busy, and I was alone behind the bar.
Why were you alone?
I just think we didn't quite think through how busy it was going to be, considering when New Year's fell and the weekend. We weren't sure what it was going to be like, and the weekend wasn't so busy. But
Right.
Monday was crazy, and I was alone. And it was. You've had one of those shifts where you're just like, that was not fun. I didn't carry myself in the way that I like to.
Were you like weeded and mean to people?
I wasn't mean to anyone.
Anyone?
I did get in a fight with someone.
Here we go. Over what?
Okay, let's rant. So, I'm working at the Porch Bar. I'm kind of working at a one well because there's two wells behind the Porch Bar because it was just me. I only set up one well, and it's Cody Place as well. So people are kind of coming in from the wild, walking up to the bar, and then
You saw this happen?
No. And then there were people coming right up to my well. And then, so I kept kind of going back and forth. You know how you do. You kind of have to like pivot around and get everyone. So I keep going over to this side and then coming back to this side. And then I noticed there's like a line forming in front of my well, but I keep going back and forth to the other side. So people are just walking up on one side. I'm taking their drinks over and going back to this line. And then it was like, guys, there's no need to wait in a line. Y'all can come right up to the bar because as a talented bartender, you can but you know what I mean? You can be like, what do you want? What do you want? Make it all at the same time. Okay, you owe me $20. You owe me, and just like kind of get through it faster rather than doing one person at a time. So I called people. I was like, guys, there's no reason to wait in a line. Come on up. And then some people did. And then I started waiting on the people. And then someone goes, excuse me, to the person I'm waiting on. We were in line and you were behind us. And he starts yelling at this person who happened to be a friend of mine. And I was like, oh, there's actually no line. I just like, you can just come up to the bar. He's like, well, we were waiting in a line. And I was like, oh, I was like, well, I don't know that you want to drink when you're standing 5 feet away from the bar. And then he started yelling at me and his partner started yelling at me from across the room.
Did you know them?
No. And they were like, well, we're going to talk to Steve. And which is always my favorite. You know, the same thing at the Red End when you like get into it. I'm like, oh, you know, Philip? Great. You know what I mean? Like, so do I. And I also am sure he's going to take my side. Oh my God. But you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I know exactly what you mean.
And then they stormed out.
They didn't wait for their drink that they had waited for?
No.
Oh,
Bummer,
it's
right?
a terrible way to start the new year.
But like, it's weird. When I lived in Palm Springs, there is line culture at bars.
Mhm.
Like, there's like a line, like a counter you walk up to and everyone waits in a line. And I don't.
Oh, yeah, they do that. there.
Yeah, but that's not a thing here in New England.
At the boat slip it is.
That's true. Yeah. And I guess at Shipwreck, they kind of do that as well.
That same thing happened to me at the cookie party when I was bartending the cookie party upstairs at the
Mhm.
post office. There was clearly a line of everybody waiting for a drink. This woman just walked right up, and it was right when Kevin Fessler was the next person in line. He was like, hey, babe, there's a really long line, and it's back there. And she goes, I waited in the line. He goes, you didn't, but it's okay. And then like stood like this far from her face while she ordered her drink. And I was like, I'm glad you're doing it because I didn't want to have.
Was he the person who called you relentlessly joyful?
No.
That's kind of who I imagine.
No. Kevin appreciates my relentless joy. He does.
But just go right up to the bar.
Or if there's a line, wait in it.
Yeah. But if the bartender tells you there's not a line, there's no line.
Yeah.
I am the decider.
This is confusing information.
I know, but whatever. But it was just like one of those like really rough shifts.
Take 6 months off the end of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you rolled around in all your money.
I did.
Good.
Yeah.
That's the best part.
There was a point where like I was waiting on everyone's getting what they wanted, and then it got to the point where, and then someone walked up and was like, "Can we do 2 espresso martinis, a Grey Goose dirty, and a Kettle One slightly dirty?" I was like, 4 vodka sodas, you said? Like, you know when it just gets to that point? I'm like, no, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, I shan't be shaking you an espresso martini at this moment.
You didn't do it?
I was also out of it,
Oh, okay.
but at the same time, I was like, read the room. Yeah. But come see me at the Gifford House.
It's a relentlessly joyful experience.
Relentlessly joyful. I think I'm gonna try to move trivia to the Gifford House since the brewery won't be open for the next 4 months.
Mm.
Yes. So next Thursday, yes, trivia, Gifford House.
Are you asking us?
Kind of, a little of both. I
Yeah?
think yes.
I think that everybody wants to be able to go to trivia.
Yeah, people.
So do it.
Yeah. I will.
Are you allowed to do that?
Who knows? I say yes. Yeah.
I would go to it. Wouldn't you guys go to it? Yeah.
Work. What was your week like this week? What'd you get up to?
I have a big announcement to make. So I've started a new job in the office of Senator Julian Sear as his new director of communications.
That's so exciting! Congratulations.
Thank you. And as somebody who communicates relentlessly joyfully, I think it's going to be a great chapter in my career.
No, I'm excited. I think that is going to be a great move for you and really
Thank
plays into your
you.
strengths.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, speaking of the State House, I was there this past week.
Right.
And, you know, I went to school in Boston. So, like, I passed that building 1,000 times. And just walking into it just felt very, like, important and historical. And I'm like, the people that have been in here that did work to help create America.
And the best state in America.
Seriously, I think so. I'm really excited about it.
That is really exciting. What is your job? I mean, you said what it was, but what does that mean?
So
I communicate every day.
It's a lot of writing, the senator's newsletter, press releases, responding to constituents, answering emails, attending events in the district with the senator, communicating on behalf of him, helping him communicate his message to his constituents. And
You've been doing that for 5 years.
I know.
Yeah.
I can't wait to have him back on here.
Is he your boss?
Kathleen, this chief of staff, is my boss. You know, there's 5 of us in the office.
At work.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Yeah.
Hi, Kathleen, if you're watching.
Yeah.
And Colin and Michael and Meg.
When do you get started?
I started on Monday.
Oh, work. Yeah. Oh, you're doing
But I
it.
really start on Monday. Like this whole next week, I will be in Boston, working, onboarding as they call it.
Are you going to, not to like rush ahead, but will you still be at the Red Inn, you think?
My hope is to be there once a week next summer.
Work. That's the right amount.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like I have a Monday through Friday job now, and I will try to be at the Red Inn on Saturdays if it all works out. I'll know closer to this, you know. I mean, if I'm like, I'm hoping that I can manage my time well enough to do that.
Yeah.
That's my goal. So I'll know after I'm like in this job for a little while.
You had mentioned to me that you were like, after I didn't work a lot of bartending shifts this past summer, and you had said that you were like, I listened to you say like your knees don't hurt anymore and your back doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
And like, I just think it's so funny that like we had to like cut out in our 30s and 40s, and Tommy is like still killing it at like
Tell me about it.
65. Like it's crazy.
I know, but it's like the longer you do it, every bartender I know who's older than I am right now has had shoulder surgeries, knee surgery. It's like being a professional athlete for a really long time.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Well,
I'm
also,
retiring.
I woke up Monday morning after this, Tuesday morning after this crazy shift at the Gifford House, and my body hurt so much. And I was like, it's been a long time since I worked a 10-hour shift on my feet.
Right.
And it was a struggle.
But, you know, you can come see me at the Red Inn on Saturdays next summer.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And, you know, we're going to talk to Paul from the Provincetown Independent in a couple of minutes.
Work.
And Paul, of course, was one of my job references from when I was writing columns for the Banner.
No way.
I
The
know.
Banner.
So Paul has known about this longer than most
Wait, you
people.
wrote columns for the Independent and the Banner, I guess.
Yes. Before they all jumped ship and started their own paper, I was a columnist at the Banner.
You were on the cusp.
Yeah. Right there.
Will you be back with us at all, Bob?
I hope so.
Me too.
Yeah. No, I mean, I won't be here every Friday moving forward, but every Friday that I can be in town, I will be here.
Work. Awesome. I do have a few news stories.
Go, do it.
Well, I was on the show last week and I was on the week before, and I guess I went on a little rant about Nancy Pelosi fighting against AOC being in charge of the oversight committee. And then we went into, I demonstrated like the the advanced age of a lot of the leadership in the Democratic Party, specifically in regards to committee positions. And then not 2 days later, what hits the news? So basically, this representative from the state of Texas, her name is Kay Granger.
Oh boy.
She hadn't been seen in 6 months. Her office was empty. She hadn't voted in 6 months. And what would happen if you didn't do your job for 6 months?
Somebody would probably have tried to find me.
Oh, yeah. Well, finally, a reporter from their district was like, let's get to the bottom of this, and looked for Kay Granger and then found her. She, for the last 6 months, she's been living in a memory care facility, which is for people, typically people with dementia, Alzheimer's, and she was still collecting a salary as a U.S. representative while she lived in a memory care facility. That's crazy.
This is in Texas?
They're a United States congressperson, but they represent
a district in Texas.
It's mind-blowing to me that things like this are able to happen.
I mean, in a place as big as Texas, maybe here you could never get away with that around here.
I don't understand how you can get away with that at all, though.
I mean, you shouldn't be able to.
Right.
But like, I can't even fathom it. Like, when the news came out, before you read like where this happened, you're like, let me guess.
Oh yeah,
probably Texas.
Probably Texas. Another news story. So the NCAA women's volleyball tournament came to a conclusion last week, and they knew the match was going to make history because a women's coach has never coached a team to a national championship, and going into the final, it was two teams who were both coached by women. Mm-hmm. So we knew it was going to be history making. It was the highest attended championship match ever for college women's volleyball, and it was Penn State against Louisville, and Penn State did come through with the win for the first time, their first win in 10 years. And what was super exciting about it is obviously Katie Schumacher-Crawley became the first ever women's head coach to win. And the craziest part about it is this entire season she was battling breast cancer.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. So a huge testament to the strength of women, and I think that is awesome and to be celebrated.
Did you watch the game?
I did not.
No.
But more people than ever did.
Yeah, I mean, these women's sports are like taking off in the last 2 years like nothing else.
Did you watch the Christmas Day Beyonce concert? No,
I still haven't seen it yet. Why? Was it good?
Well, 24 million people tuned in to stream the game. For the first time ever, the Christmas Day games were streamed through Netflix, and 24 million people tuned in to stream the game, and 27 million people watched the Beyonce halftime show.
Of course.
Yeah. Also, in stark contrast to the Country Music Awards that had 8 million, which notably snubbed Beyonce and got no nominations for Cowboy Carter. But I was thinking that Beyonce wasn't going to win Album of the Year, but after that performance, I was like, I think she should win Album of the Year.
Yeah. I didn't love Cowboy Carter. Don't come for me in the comments or anything, but
it wasn't my favorite Beyonce album, but I think it is the best album. Musically, artistically. What do you think is going to win?
We'll see.
Should win?
We'll see what the Academy decides. I don't even remember who else was nominated. I just remember being like, I don't want this to win.
I want Brat to win.
Brat's great. Right? Brat's not going to win.
Remember when Taylor Swift won last time and I was like, there's so many artists that don't get recognized. Charlie XCX was specifically the first one I mentioned. And now she's nominated for Album of the Year.
See?
It's happening.
You're predicting it. You're forecasting it.
But also, I don't think this is her best album.
No. Well,
but I love it.
Happens. That's like a month from now, right? That's going to happen while we're off the air.
Oh, yeah. It's usually right when we come back. Okay. Yeah. Work.
Fun.
Yeah. That's all I got. You got anything else?
No, that's it.
Work. Let's tune in to Sean with the weather.
Good morning, Provincetown, and Happy New Year. It's a brisk morning here in town, and I'm standing outside the brewery not just to give you the forecast, but to mark 2 milestones. Our last show before winter hiatus and the final broadcast from 141 Bradford Street. Let's go out in style, just like this weather, which is keeping things frosty. Today, yes, it's January, and that means it's cold. We'll see mostly clear skies and plenty of sunshine, but don't let that fool you. Temperatures will hover around 33, and with the wind factored in, it'll feel closer to 25. So if you're venturing out, layer up and grab that hat. Saturday, partly cloudy skies take over with highs reaching 32. But here's the catch. Winds are picking up. Gusts around 40 miles per hour will make it feel like a frosty 20 at best. Overnight, the temperature drops to 25, and wind chills could drop to a bone-chilling 15. Perfect weather for staying indoors. Sunday, the wind sticks around with gusts up to 50 miles per hour, so even though the mercury will hit 32, it'll feel like an icy 18 during the day. Overnight lows hit 25, but brace yourself, it'll feel as cold as 10. Looking ahead, far ahead, January promises to keep the chills coming with typical rain and snow for the season. February will stay cold, but likely bring drier conditions, so maybe less shoveling, but no guarantees. Tides, for those brave enough to face the cold weather, it's walking the dog or digging for clams. Mornings will be your best bet. But seriously, folks, brr. That's your forecast, Provincetown. Stay warm, stay safe, and have an amazing weekend. We will see you guys mid-February. And I'm looking forward to the break. Guys, back to you inside.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Sean.
He's here. He's in the room
He's never
today.
sitting in the room.
And he has a shirt on. It's so
I
weird.
know. What is that? Clothing?
Please welcome Gerry, Goyette, and Amy Raff to Wake Up.
Hi.
Morning.
Welcome back.
Yeah, both of you back.
Yeah. Exciting.
Happy to be here.
Happy New Year.
You too. Pretty jazzed.
Good.
I'm great.
Good.
I'm great. We're really excited to talk about Winter Wednesdays. It's like
Yes.
one of my favorite programs during the winter time.
Yeah.
And Amy's been involved for a very long time. I just got started maybe 4 years ago.
Yep.
And it's great to see this program grow and grow and grow. And this year we're really excited that there's 15 classes on Wednesday that are going to be actually housed in Provincetown School.
That's
Oh,
wild.
really?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fantastic. I can't wait. We have an array of classes from ceramics, pickleball, write your own biography. We have tarot cards. We have some needle pointing. We have sewing, which is going to be really exciting.
Sewing comes back every year, right?
So last
Last
year they
year they
took
took-
a hiatus.
Okay. I know
Like-
that's very popular when they do
Hand
it.
sewing or sewing
Machine.
machine? Okay.
Machine and hand and needle pointing.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of my goals is to
Cross
learn how to
stitch.
sew this
Cross
winter.
stitch. Cross
On a machine.
Gang, gang,
Go
gang,
to
gang, 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 gang.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scott Coffee.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, we
Oh.
got the lab.
The master himself.
Yeah, William Mann, celeb biographer, lives here in Provincetown, doing a write your own biography. Really cool. There's also another class about, somebody who gets away with murder and it comes back at them. So that should be good. You're
The
gonna read
class
some
is how to
stories.
get away with murder.
Writing revenge.
Writing
Oh.
revenge.
Is it Viola
Yes.
Davis?
I was like, what night is that one?
Yeah, but they're all over too. There's some classes in Eastham, Truro, Wellfleet. The majority is in Provincetown, and then they do have some virtual, like all levels yoga flow with Hannah.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
Hannah.
Yeah, we love Hannah.
She's been doing it for
Wait,
many
there's
years.
a pickleball tutorial?
Yes, on Wednesdays we have pickleball.
Have you alerted the neighbors?
It's inside.
It's in,
Have you alerted the inside neighbor?
yes,
Not scandal.
yes.
Which class are you going to take? Are you teaching one?
No, I do not teach. I open up doors, I unlock, I tell people where they need to be
It's
going.
important.
Yeah, I check on my pickleball people because we need to once in a while call 911.
Really?
Yeah.
Because
Some-
people get hurt or
people
they get chesty.
No, they get hurt.
Oh.
Yeah, we had somebody snap their Achilles.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's dangerous.
That was a fun night.
I thought that was supposed to be the sport for people to not get hurt.
Yeah, no.
I thought it was just verbal assaults.
No.
No, it's dangerous
Yeah.
One
because
of-
of the type of pivoting that you're doing, as I understand.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the cool things about Winter Wednesdays is that we try to not have any barriers to access.
Mm.
So all the supplies are taken care of. Like in the case of pickleball, we buy rackets and balls, and it'll be interesting how many sewing machines we buy this year. But anyway, we like everybody to be able to participate. We also offer transportation between the towns and childcare, but only in Provincetown because that's a little more complicated.
Mhm.
And I just want to say that it started in 2017, and it was the brainchild of Morgan Clark when she was our health director. And we all know what the goal was, right? To create times of togetherness, so we're not so sad and lonely in the winter, and it actually works. It works out really great.
Oh, yeah.
But over the years, since the pandemic especially, it's expanded to the other outer Cape towns. So, I mean, it's grown way more than we ever anticipated.
Yeah. This is
Yeah.
I didn't realize that it was beyond Provincetown.
neither.
How did
Yeah.
that expansion happen?
So the Outer Cape health departments are really friendly. So Eastham Health Department, Truro, Wellfleet, and of course Provincetown kind of all got together, and they are working with Outer Cape Community Solutions, which is a rural health network. And so anyway, they're working on public health programs, and that's how it happened. Because more is more, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. And how many Wednesdays is it?
7 weeks.
7 weeks.
Yeah.
Yep. And the website is live today,
Yeah.
but registration for classes are on Monday.
Perfect.
And I believe some of them are going to be pretty popular,
Oh yeah.
and they do have caps. So,
Yeah,
like,
if
Yeah.
you want to get
play-
into that one, you better
No,
sign
no
up
joke.
early.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you better
Yeah,
be sitting there.
Mhm.
pressing that.
Yeah.
It's like Beyonce tickets.
Ooh.
Exactly.
Yeah, that one's like clay is 16 people, pickleball is 12 people.
Until somebody gets hurt and you take their place.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Bob's there with the marbles. Showgirlsing people.
You don't
to
even need the marketplace.
So we still call it Winter Wednesdays, but it's not just for Wednesdays anymore. Is
Great.
the new tagline.
I
'Cause
love
There's also classes on Tuesdays and
Oh,
Thursdays
nice.
and Fridays and
Awesome.
Mondays and virtually too. So
Awesome. You guys
Yeah.
have really grown this.
yeah,
Not me. I just open doors. That's it. And welcome
you.
people. And
I
welcome
said
people
it's,
into the
it's
school.
important.
It's just great that on a Wednesday night, the community is in the school.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
there's some energy and buzz in the school that aren't children.
Right.
It's adults.
Yeah.
So it'd be really nice, like maybe when I retire, bringing adult education back to the school and offering that to adults throughout the year.
Awesome.
Because Truro does it. I think Wellfleet does it.
Mhm.
So it'd be nice.
Mhm.
It's on my bucket list.
Yeah, it is really important. I've been here for a few winters, and it is really important to get out there, be around people. So even if like you feel like you might not be amazing at one of these things, go learn. It's mostly important to be around people, to be social,
Mhm.
get out of the house, and pick up a fun skill.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And also,
Yeah.
we had a couple of guys on a few weeks ago, the addiction specialists, who were like, there are very few things where people are gathering and it's not centered on alcohol,
Mhm.
especially in the winter. So this is a great opportunity to get out and be around people more, and you're not just like, the focus isn't just drinking.
Absolutely.
Thank you for doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Fun.
Amy, what class are you most excited about?
I really want to do the cross stitch because I have like a real thing about needlework. That's why, Gerry said it was needlepoint, and I was like, oh, no, that's cross stitch. That's
What's
very
the
different.
difference?
Well, cross stitch is you're making little crosses.
Okay.
The fabric is also different. Needlepoint's more. Anyway, you don't want to
See,
hear this.
these are the things you're going to
Take the
learn on
class.
Wednesday.
Cross stitch is easy.
No,
Hence
no,
we asked.
Yeah.
Hence we asked.
No.
Yeah.
But that class had a lot of buzz last year. Like they really, really had a great time. And I know my friend Susan Tran was there, and she had a ball. It was
Mhm.
a kick.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So sign up on Monday.
Sign up on Monday.
WinterWednesdays.org.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should be fun.
Thank you so
Jazz.
much for being here.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thanks for
Good to see
having
you.
us.
Come play pickleball.
No.
Danger, my ankles. My ankles. Thank you so much for coming in.
All right.
Register this upcoming Monday for Winter Wednesdays.
.org.
.org.
Let's
Not
head.
.gov like you.
That's the only moment I was like, .gov. Bob is a .gov.
I know.
.gov.
I'm serious. I'm a very serious person.
Yeah.
Let's head on over to Sam with the weekly roundup.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the last weekly roundup with me, Sam Sewell. Before we go on hiatus, this is for the week of January 3rd through January 9th, though many of these events will be taking place all winter long, so stay tuned. Starting on Friday, this week only, at Water's Edge Cinema, they will be playing Baby Girl and A Complete Unknown, and if you haven't seen either of these films, go out and get your tickets now. Also, on Friday night, RuPaul's Drag Race Viewing Party is back by popular demand at the Crown and Anchor. That is starting at 7 p.m. with all your favorite Provincetown drag queens and some special guests. So go on and check out Mackenzie and Austin as they host RuPaul's Drag Race Viewing Party. Then on Sunday over at the Gifford House, the intimate wintry mixed cocktail classes are continuing all winter long. at 5 p.m. It's cute, it's fun, it's wintry mixed cocktail classes. And on Monday, Music Bingo Mondays at Bay Cafes are continuing all winter. That starts at 6 p.m. and it's at the Bay Cafe, so get your music trivia on. Tuesday brings us a in-person tarot club learning workshop at 2 p.m. over at the Provincetown Public Library. You can bring your own tarot cards and read for yourselves or with each other. I think that's a great thing to do this winter, so go check out the Tarot Club along with many other Winter Wednesday offerings that the Provincetown Library has to offer. And Tuesday brings us the 42nd annual Rerouters Day ceremony. This is something you're not going to want to miss. It's free. It's at the P-Town Harbor at 4 p.m. And it's delightfully P-Town, so go and check that out. Also, Tuesday brings us Latin Night at the Post Office Cafe at 8 p.m. Always a good time, and get into those Latin grooves to help you warm up this winter. Wednesday brings us line dancing at the Gifford House every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Honestly, it's another great way to warm up this winter. It's a really good time, so go check them out in the wild. Also a Provincetown classic on Wednesdays. Bingo with Tiki Bronstein over at the A House begins at 9 p.m. So you can go dancing and then play bingo, and then you can dance after that. So you have no excuse on Wednesdays if you want to warm up. There's plenty to do. Upcoming, we have a FOC Friday over at the Fine Arts Work Center starting at 5 p.m. These are really fun. So if you haven't checked out the Fine Arts Work Center, go in and check out their FOC Fridays. They always have a really good lineup of food and discussions, and you can check out what the fellows have been working on and possibly get in on some art making yourself. Then upcoming, you can express your talent at the Underground, where you can win cash prizes. This starts on the 12th of January and continues on through March. Check out those cash prizes, so go on and explore your talent over at the Underground. It has been a great season, y'all. If you need anything from me, I will be at samsoolarts@gmail.com. I hope you have a great winter rest, and I will see you when we get back. Happy 2025, everyone.
Paul Benson,
Hi, Bob.
news editor of the Provincetown Independent. Thank you for making some time to join us today.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
How are you?
I'm well.
What's new in the world?
I'm up early, so that's what's new.
I know.
Literally. The
Oh.
three of
But,
us up early. Who would have
That's what
thought?
happened. It's like, oh, it's heaven. I've slept in.
Literally,
Yeah.
totally. Well, first of all, since the last time we've had you, you've gotten a promotion.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, that was in January.
Yeah.
But you're right.
Tell us about your new position, or
Yeah.
your year-old position.
So I transitioned from senior reporter to news editor. I still report one story a week. The rest of my time is helping make assignments, helping reporters develop their projects and figure out where it is they're headed and who they need to be talking to and maybe what they might have missed or some background that they ought to know to get the story moving. And then on Tuesday, when the A section is getting put together, it's a frenzy of editing all the pieces, filling in the gaps, seeing what, again, might have been missed, or like, hey, did they give you a little more that we can add into this? Because we're not hearing enough from this person. And that happens until about 2 a.m. And then the paper goes to print.
That's the time you're up.
That is the 2 nights of the week. Monday night writing and Tuesday night editing are the really, really late, long days and nights.
But
So you're not really a morning person these days. Once
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Monday, I'm up nice and early.
What's
uh,
early?
Between 6 and
That's
That's
early.
early. That is
Yeah.
early. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, also I sleep above ground, so I have moved to
I
Truro.
know. Congratulations on moving to Truro.
It's super exciting. It's on Shore Road, so I can get there on Shore Road without touching 6
Wow.
and still feel like I'm just on a really long bike ride in my car. It's cold. I have a scooter, but it's cold.
Yeah.
So
Do you
like,
still have the same car?
yes.
you can bike.
And
on
it's empty and
that-
clean,
that-
painted and refreshed.
That's wild.
It's a 1999 purple Jeep Cherokee.
I borrowed it 10 years ago once, and I was like, this car doesn't have much more time. The
No.
fact that it's still running is
Right.
wild to me.
It has been a mobile storage unit. It was reported as a homeless person's car at least twice, including by coworkers of ours.
Really?
Yeah, an innocent mistake. It does look. It did. Now it's cleaned and
It
empty.
did look like someone was living out of
It
it.
did. Well, I needed a place to put my stuff.
Reporter life.
Yeah,
This is so the archetypal.
I know. Now I can show up and not feel like, ooh, this is
Yeah.
embarrassing.
I mean, I'm so happy to see you take on this new position because you've been with the Independent since the beginning.
Yes, 2019.
Yeah, and you were very much you were the first person that I talked to where you were like, this town needs something like this. And in the past 5 years, Provincetown Independent has really proven the value something like this brings to a town. And you've been such a huge part of it.
Thank you. I mean, it's a beautiful paper. Ed and Teresa do an absolutely obscene amount of work making it happen. And those, like, it's 3 giant sections. I was traveling home for Christmas. The Seattle Times has a 16-page A section. And we routinely decide, are we running 16, 20, or 24 this week?
Right.
And I know that Seattle Times is a daily, but also they serve a metro of, like, I don't know, 2.5 million people.
Right.
It's crazy how much
not
is in that paper
4,500.
every week. Every week, all year round.
Mhm.
So much is in that newspaper. So
Yeah.
I'm glad people appreciate it.
Well, how do you decide as news editor, like what's most important for people to know around here?
That's a really fun question. Some of it is just civics as the process of the meetings and the civic life, like, digests things and spits them out. You know, we need to see how that begins and how it ends. And I mean, we're going to talk later about the project on 26 Shank Painter, where the old police station is. I mean, we've literally been reporting every step of the way as that project evolves. So that's a lot of it. And then a lot of it is what are people talking about in town, or what are the, you know, these longer range changes that don't, you know, happen at a planning board meeting, but they're changes in things like the Brewing Company and the Crown and Anchor, or they're changes in, you know, demographics, or the J1 situation with the pedicabs. All kinds of things come up, and life kind of lets you know what you have to pay attention to. It has a pretty good way of saying, hey, everybody, like, it's time for this now.
Right.
So
We also produce stories, I imagine, like you can kind of move around.
you want to have a few that don't have a time hook that you can push back when something brand new and sudden happens.
Right.
I'll be pushing a few stories back. There's whooping cough case at Nauset High School. So
Really?
we'll be reporting on that soon. I guess there's a pertussis outbreak all around the country and in Barnstable County, probably related to vaccine uptake. So, you know, there's a larger story to tell there. That
Say that again.
Vaccine uptake?
So yes, the Tdap vaccine, which protects you from whooping cough, is not as popular on the Outer Cape as it should be. And you can get statistics from the state on the kindergarten, the 7th grade, the 11th grade vaccination rate. And for various reasons, the Outer Cape doesn't always score great on those. The vaccine rates are higher in the Middle and Upper Cape than they are out here. So whooping cough is very serious for infants. It can make them really sick or die. And it is important for the survival of our young people that the Tdap vaccine is taken by people when they're supposed to be taking it.
I mean, the vaccine skepticism is very au courant.
Right. And, you know, we haven't had an infant mortality rate be a statistic we need to talk about in a really long time.
Right.
So people don't know that babies can in fact die, but they can. And you have like Mitch McConnell in the Senate being like, I had polio, I'm not voting for that guy, because it was that long ago that anyone has a direct experience of what polio is really like.
Yeah.
It's kind of sickening, but here we are.
Yikes.
The present.
The fun stuff.
Yeah. What could go wrong?
But
Besides infant mortality.
So what are some big articles you're working on now? That
Well, so we'll be talking about how to cover that. It'll be out in the next week or two. Because it is a weekly, we don't always focus on the press release just came out, let's get it out in print now. We focus on how to build a story into something bigger that it's almost more magazine style. Like, how do you really get into everything available to help people understand it? So in the meantime, there is a Nauset. Someone had whooping cough at Nauset High School.
crazy.
What else is going to be in the paper?
26 Shank Painter?
26 Shank Painter was just out and will be around some more. That project is really interesting. And like I said, we've been covering it a long time. So the police have moved to their new station out on Route 6 and Jerome Smith Road. That leaves open about a half acre next to the Methodist Church. It was slated for 40 market rate rental apartments. Rentals are really hard to build. We have a market rate rental housing trust specifically because our housing crisis doesn't house people in middle incomes. There is affordable housing for people earning below median. It's subsidized by the feds and the state. It takes half a decade to build, which is extremely frustrating. But there is at least, you know, tens of millions of dollars available to build it when you can find the land and a developer. There's no money at all from the state or the feds to try to build the middle income housing that teachers and nurses and firefighters and police officers and bartenders and hotel managers and all the people needed to run an economy live in.
Mhm.
And many of those people, especially if they're couples, because of the way the income rules are written from back in the 60s, they kind of presume one earner. And if there are two earners in a household, it can be really hard to qualify for affordable housing, which is a persistent struggle that working people face. So this was going to be market rate rentals, very hard to build. There are not a lot on Cape Cod. That's why we're in a housing crisis. It's now going to be 30 below market condos, so priced between 400 and about 675,000.
What we dubbed last week as relatively affordable housing.
So I'm calling it below market. Affordable is this
Right.
deeply subsidized federal stuff, but a market rate condo in Provincetown is 800,000, which an income of 80,000 will never really be able to afford. Even just the mortgage on that is 50,000 a year or something.
Right.
So these
But
will
also,
be,
if you make 80,000, you can't apply for affordable
Right.
units.
and then that's too much. Thank you, too much for the affordable units. So these below market units, which are subsidized by the town with $4 million plus the free land, to well below the $800,000 market price.
Mhm.
And importantly, they're going to be conducted by lottery. The town's going to control the lottery, sort of as it does for these ownership units that periodically come up because of the inclusionary zoning bylaw. There'll be 1 and 25 people will apply, and there's a big lottery, and some lucky family gets it. There's now going to be 30 of those coming available. It's probably going to take a couple of years to build this, and because it's only town money building them, the town can write rules that really directly favor town employees, people who live here, people who work here and don't live here right now,
Right.
but people who have jobs and keep our economy running. They can write rules that are designed to make this lottery serve the people who really need it.
Right.
And then the sale price is controlled. So similar to the affordable ownership units we know, when people go to sell those below market units, they will again be sold at a price that's based on incomes earned in the county, not based on whatever the market happens to be speculating today.
Right.
They'll be for primary and sole domicile, right? You have to actually live there. It can't be your second home. It can't be short-term rented. That will be in the deed restriction.
Mhm.
The town holds the deed restriction. So that's why I think the select board was really excited about it.
Mhm.
It's not just that they're below market, but that the town has a lot of control over how the 30 units are allocated.
Right.
And then there's 10 market rate units that round out the building. So it's still 40 units in the building. And that's the project.
That sounds awesome.
It is actually really impressive. As the select board pointed out, there aren't any like this on Cape Cod. It will be the first. If it works, it's going to be copied pretty widely.
Mhm.
$4 million is a lot in one sense. The towns didn't used to have that kind of money, but with the short-term rental tax, they do.
Right.
And we're not the only town that has that kind of money coming in. Orleans is trying to figure out what to do with their short-term rental tax. Chatham earns a lot. And as that money rolls in and they're trying to figure out how to spend it, one of the problems has been there's not a lot of great ways to turn this money into housing.
Right.
Lease to locals partly was a really quick way to take a relatively small amount of money and at least get some 1-year leases signed.
Right.
That will get people to be able to stay here maybe until these apartments open on Jerome Smith.
And I do know people who have taken advantage of the lease to locals program. It's kept people here and in safe, comfortable homes.
And kind of for not a lot of money in the grand scheme of things. It is interesting that a $10,000 or a $6,000 incentive really did change people's behavior in a market where short-term rentals can earn, a lot of money. So it was very effective. This $4 million, it's a big price tag, but 30 permanent units is a return that I think people will be interested in around the Cape, not just here.
I guess maybe I don't quite understand. That seems like a lot to put on that property. Am I not seeing the property for what it is?
I mean, it is definitely, they're maxing out the zoning.
Which is great.
We already authorized a 4th story if it's inclusionary housing.
Mhm.
So we did that at town meeting a few years ago. And that's only on the Shank Painter corridor that you can have 4 stories right now. And there's no parking. The select board, and I believe previously the zoning board, agreed to authorize waiving parking requirements because it's going to be a lot of housing for a specific purpose that the town needs.
Mhm.
And there are other, setbacks and things. It's a complex, weirdly shaped L-shaped lot, but they're definitely maxing it out, and they're doing that with the support of all the people in town who are in positions of authority on the board because they want to see this housing built.
That's awesome.
Can you speak to how relatively quickly this is happening compared to a lot of people are like, God, where's this housing? What's taking so long? But you just said that this is pretty quick compared to what it could take.
So you're talking about the affordable units on Jerome Smith,
Right.
opposite from the police station, 65 apartments. They will be for below median incomes, and they take a long time. It's been years, but it takes a long time because there's a lot of state and federal money. There's a lot of requirements. You have to apply to the state, get this $20 million grant. They only do that lottery every 6 months. We did actually win the first time we applied, which is partly because the town was willing to put $3 million into it, which is a pretty high number again. We sort of bought our way into quick consideration on that decision making that the state made. But, when you're using state and federal money, everything's slow. It's just the simplest way to put it. Really painfully slow. They're assembling the funding from 10 different sources. And this is quick for that kind of a project, which is scary. Like, it takes 6 years to build apartments.
Yeah, it's got to change. If only we knew someone with a .gov email.
You can do permitting reform, right? You can do that first week, 10 days agenda.
The senator will get right back to you.
Permitting reform. We can do it. We're going to build it all fast.
Could you tell us a little more about the Champaigner Corridor project and the construction that has been happening over there? This is just a question, and I'm sure you know. And
So there's two things in parallel. The state is paying for this massive construction on Champaigner. The town is also working on rezoning Champaigner. Separate, but at the same time, right? So the town has been having these public meetings. There's another one coming up in January at the planning board where they're going to review new bylaws that are about how to build on Champaigner going forward. And that's kind of taking advantage of what the state is doing, which is adding bike lanes, trees, sidewalks. The public right-of-way on Champaigner Road is a lot bigger than the road you see. This is interesting because some people's parking spaces are probably in that public right-of-way. And all the light poles are going to have to move back. What will actually wind up being on Champaigner is a wider road with bike lanes on each side, with sidewalks, with trees, and then they're zoning it so that buildings can come much closer to that. They're lowering the setbacks. They want to have more frontage. It actually has something I'd never seen before, which is a required minimum. Like, you have to put the buildings across a certain amount of the front of the lot. They want the parking in the back going forward.
They want it to appear more like cityscape.
Right. Walkable, comfortable, safe, so that when you walk down Champaigner, you don't feel like you're taking your life in your hands, and that someone's going to zoom into the max parking lot at 30 miles an hour and mow you down while they do it. So they're doing this zoning project at the same time. So you'll hear about both. The construction is ongoing. The zoning project will eventually come to town meeting in April.
And I also imagine all those changes might incentivize building more property. Like, there's so many things on Champaigner that just seem underutilized.
Yes.
I guess.
There are a lot of parcels that seem empty, half empty, or built, but vacant most of the time.
Dilapidated.
Derelict.
Derelict.
Derelict is one of my favorite words.
They generally are all in the same family.
Wow. Read.
Yes. Mark is making the subtext into text.
Yeah.
So yes, that's one of the things I thought is interesting in this Champaigner rezoning is to what extent are, in addition to controlling the look of things and the configuration, which is kind of prescriptive, it also involves putting limits. To what extent are they opening up possibilities, allowing you to do more on some of those parcels? And maybe that ability to do more will encourage some people to finally cash in on their property, and we'll see some of those more things actually built, because an upzoned property on which nothing happens is still an empty parcel.
Right.
So hopefully there's not just some carrots, not just some sticks, but some carrots in this rezoning, and we can see some of those derelict parcels used more productively.
I love that.
Right? Could be
I
fun.
love
Yeah.
it too.
Champaigner could be so fun.
It's hard because it's like already operating like it has all those things. Because there are people walking to the supermarket. There are people walking to our largest convenience store. There's a bank. There's, you know what I mean? So like, people are already using it in that way. There are bikes. There are pedestrians. So it's a big change to make it more useful for the town, but also safer for the people using it.
Yeah. And it, as they add the 40 apartments here right in the middle next to the church, there is another parcel that hasn't even really been talked about much that is next to the dog park facing 6. So the town owns some land between Patrick's studio and where his barracks project is going, and the dog park. And it's a pretty big parcel that is going to be taken out of the roadway when those lanes go away. So that, really looking down the line, as those two southern lanes that go way out to Herring Cove that no one's ever on, those lanes are going to be removed. And it's going to be just the two lanes on the north side going one way each way.
Which side is the north side?
The one near the seashore, the one near the
beach.
pond.
The one going to the beach.
Yes, that one
It's
is
gonna-
staying.
Okay, perfect.
The one coming back is going away.
Oh, where?
And
And
traffic
rotary.
will get moved. Yeah, and the rotary.
Yeah, literally.
So anyway, there's more land there that apartments can eventually go on as well. So there's going to be more people living on Shankpainter.
Yeah. I mean, with the barracks project, with the Jerome Smith, with the police station project, that's a lot of people move.
Yeah.
And when we already have Province lands, is that what it's called?
Province Landing is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
that
So
extra
the worst
parcel.
time to be living in Provincetown and looking for an apartment is now. It's going to get better.
mm.
It's only bad now.
I mean, it's only
Mr.
been
Brightside.
bad. It's only been bad since 1999,
Yeah.
and worse every year
Yeah.
for more than 2 decades.
It's on the horizon.
And then severely escalated in 2020.
There was a really good year when Harbor Hill opened.
Yeah,
I swear there
I
was that
remember how
one
happy
year
I
where
was
like
that
all of a
everybody
sudden
You could
You know,
breathe. Yeah.
29 apartments worth of people filled up.
Yeah. And all
And-
people that we know that live and work in town.
I mean, mostly that keep this place running.
Mhm.
I don't know what percent of the staff of this place lived there, but it has to have been
It's less now, but
Yeah.
at a point it was, yeah.
over half.
Yeah.
It must
Yeah.
have been. Anyway, those things will eventually happen again, and
Right.
buildings will open,
Mhm.
and Jerome Smith will probably be the first. This condo project could easily be the second. I don't know where the barracks is in their process.
Mhm.
And because it doesn't depend on state and federal money. So it can theoretically happen faster
Mm.
from start to finish than what we've been watching on Jerome Smith, which has taken it time because that's just how it is.
And I know a lot of people like to complain that they're like, why doesn't the town put all these restrictions on this place? When state and federal money are involved, you can't put whatever rules you
Yeah,
want on
you do not
something.
get to invent your own playbook and play Dungeons and Dragons and decide exactly how you want it to be,
Right.
unless it's Shankpainter and you're not doing it with state and federal money,
Right.
and then you do get to decide how you want it to be.
Right.
Do we have to vote at town meeting on the $4 million?
We will.
Yeah.
Have to
Is there anything? I know we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but there is anything else you foresee being on this town meeting that will be
Oh gosh,
talked about?
kind of obscure, but Morgan Clark was already called out once on this program. We'll do it again. She presented a mental health plan back in 2021 that involved crisis counselors. It was going to be paid for with the marijuana tax money.
Mm.
That plan evolved like 3 different ways, but there is a mental health specialist and a public nurse that are paid for right now with ARPA money that serve the 4 towns.
Mm.
They serve you for free. They it's crisis counseling. They meet you 6 to 12 times and then try to get you set up with a long-term therapist. But crisis counseling is really important. Sudden things happen in people's lives, and lives that seem stable suddenly aren't. And being able to reach out for help. Right now it's set up so that you would need to reach out to the health department, police or fire, community development. Someone in the town government can direct you to the mental health practitioner who has a substance abuse specialty. And that kind of crisis counseling is important. So we'll probably see on the town warrants in all 4 towns the chance to continue funding that. You know, ARPA, the American Rescue Plan, is going to run out, and we'll have to decide whether and to what extent to continue funding that program. I think it's important. It sort of happens in the background. You know, they're not super buying billboards like free mental health care, call us now, you know, because they're waiting for people to reach out who are really in crisis. But it's a big deal, and that'll be on the warrant too, in all likelihood. The budget presentation's coming up at the end of the month, so we'll find out then.
Nice.
Awesome. Everyone's favorite season in town meeting season.
Yes,
Well, some of them are like so uneventful, and then some
Yeah.
of them are like,
overly
my
eventful.
friends are fighting with each other.
Yeah.
In public at town hall.
So eventful.
Well, I hope for you an uneventful meeting.
It should be. I think that we're likely to see plenty of stuff that people will be excited to vote for, reasons to show up and not to be like, oh, this one's a snooze.
Mhm.
And yeah, besides that, you never know. There could be a curveball at the last minute.
Yeah.
There
Yeah, often.
often are.
Right.
Do we have any more time? Are we good?
Yeah.
I guess if I'll take the mic.
Yeah.
We are going to be opening applications for our summer fellows. We bring in 4 college students every summer. It's
You
a
had
really
a great
cool program.
team this year.
They were I can't say the best, but they're the best. And it's a really great program for young people who are in college, who are interested in journalism. They get a ton of editorial support. They come to all of our meetings. We send them out all over the 4 towns. They bring back really great stories. They leave with incredible clips that help them get even better jobs again and again and again. They have gone on, I mean, one of our summer fellows writes for the Financial Times now. One writes for the Christian Science Monitor. They're really great programs. And so one is, if you know young people in your life who are interested, who want to spend their summer in Provincetown, so help us God, the newspaper can almost always find housing for these kids. Usually it's donated in the home of,
Your front yard?
Of some of our donors, board members, other friends of the paper, other people who respect the work we're doing, who say, hey, you know what, I do have an extra room in my house this summer, and I am going to be there 4 weeks a year, but that doesn't mean a young Harvard or Yale student can't stay there in the other bedroom the whole time. We'll have dinner a few times while we're in town, and I trust them not to burn the place down when I'm not in town. And enough people have made that deal with us that we've been able to house these students. It's a really great program if there's young people in your life that you think would like to be spending their summer on the Outer Cape, becoming journalists and really learning the tools of the trade so that we have another generation of journalists to cover the news that's coming. Then tell those kids to apply, and or donating to the local journalism project is how we pay for them. So that's okay too.
That was one of my favorite things we did this year, was having these young journalists on the show to talk about what they were doing. It was just, it's so inspiring. And I'm like, you're learning and you're doing it on the ground in real time.
They were so great.
It was awesome.
And also to let them gush a little about how much they love the experience with the Provincetown Independent and also Provincetown in general.
Oh, good. We sent 2 of them to cover the Kamala Harris fundraiser. I was there because I didn't want to be shunted off to the side room and wait for the moment. So, and then they all came out so excited, and they wrote incredible, really talented stories about it. And it's a great experience for young people to have, and to make them want to join this industry and stay in this industry and provide the public with the news that's not fake.
I love you.
And also congratulations, y'all won Best Paper.
We did. Best Weekly, 5,000 readers or more. So we went up a size category in the last year.
And why?
We now have to compete with the big boys, including that statewide paper in Vermont that I won't name, that constantly steals all the awards that I think we're going to get. But we got best newspaper in that category this year.
Congratulations.
So
well deserved.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're steering the ship.
Oh, no.
We just wanted to bring our weatherman who never comes to visit us
Sean,
in
he's
real life.
in town. He's never
Yeah,
here.
I'm actually here.
In the flesh.
Thank you for a year's worth of weather.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Should I take my shirt off?
Yes,
I think so.
It's warm in here.
Yeah.
I also wanted to bring in the crooks. If you've been seeing Sam's reports all year, wrap ups. Priscilla is our studio audience almost every week.
With no cheese.
I don't know if we're all in this shot, but
And you hear Mark's comments off camera all the time.
thank you all for watching.
Yeah, we'll be back in 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe in this room, maybe somewhere else.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe at the school.
A big thank you to our viewers for another fantastic year here at Wake Up. Thank you to our sponsors for 2024, the Crown and Anchor, Provincetown Brewing Company, Boat Slip, Shipwreck at the Brass Key, Provincetown Business Guild, P-Town Tourism, as well as PTV.
Great.
Yeah. And thank you to all, the family that makes Wake Up happen.
Thanks, guys.
Oh.
Yay!
Thank you for waking up in Provincetown.
Wherever you are.
We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Wake up. Wake up, wake up. In Provincetown.